Well, hello everybody. I bought an Ender. It's not what you think. Alright. Make sure I've got this up. I'm not in front of the computer I normally use. Streaming computer's off to another side, so see if I can actually see actual comments. There we go. Let's see if I can get these side by side so I can see both at the same time. Alright, there we go. So, hope y'all can hear me okay. So, I bought an Ender 3. And I know y'all are asking, go ahead, scoot up here in my chair, get comfy. Why? Why in 2022? Is that where we are now? Yeah, would you buy a 4-year-old printer? And it wasn't because I wanted an Ender. It was because I want a switch wire. I was going to build a Voron, but through a series of unfortunate events, not going to have the cash for that, so I thought, what was our next cheapest step? I guess we'll do a conversion. And I thought about converting one of my other printers, but I don't want to take it down for this, which is probably going to be a long project. So I looked online and I found this guy. I paid $100, which is, I'm sure some of you are saying, kind of silly, since you can go get a brand new Ender for $100 at Micro Center. Yes, I know, everyone's told me, but I already have an account and I don't have anybody else local that I could use to sign up for that. So I found this one online on Craigslist, $100. It was about an hour away on between train and bus, which was fun. And I actually got this from, make sure you can see this, Code Ninjas, which is a after-school program which teaches children to code and also 3D print, apparently, and some other things. This had been their first printer, and they'd had some good luck with it, but then they were having just way too many issues, which I can understand. For a school with small children, you're really spending a lot of time just dealing with, you know, the slicing, understanding the different filaments. They just don't have time for that, so they sold it. They said it worked, and I went up there, took a look at it, it turned on, everything seemed to be there, so I bought it. Took it apart in the parking lot, and I brought it home. Made it all the way. I did break this one limit switch. Gotta lean over so I can see my screen. So $7 later off of Amazon, then 24 hours the next day, I had a new limit switch. Turned it on, dialed it in, and it printed absolutely fine. They had thought there was some kind of problem with the hot end. I did not find any problem with the hot end, not till a little later. But for about a week, it printed absolutely fine. It did have some issues. It is an Ender 3. So the first issue was this mat, which you can tell someone got a little too close at times. Make sure I can see this. Yeah, you can kind of see it. That square right there. There's another spot right in here where, you know, it happens. It looks like they got too close, even down here on the lead line. They just kind of messed it up. And, you know, it happens. We've all had these flexible mats. You can see there's several creases and punches where the nozzle's gone down way too close. So get rid of it. So the first upgrade I did out of the boxes, and what we're going to do on this stream is I am actually just going to replace a bunch of the basic parts, which I have here, to give it a little better functionality, be a little more even. We've got just a handful of little bitty parts that are the standard stuff people replace, and I figured that would be a good time to do it. So the first upgrade I did is I went ahead and I had a spare set of the silicone spacers. From previously I'd ordered them for a different printer and Amazon had lost them, and then shipped me another set, and then of course the very next day the first set showed up. So they've been sitting in a drawer forever, but seemed like a perfect time to use them, and they went on fine. Works fine, absolutely solid. Once again it was printing absolutely perfect. Next thing I did was I went ahead and got a PEI powder coated flex sheet. This is generic. Got a little bit of glue stick on it just because I was having some issues from the get-go even after washing it. Off of Amazon, it was $20. The magnet that came with it, have not used it. I have this exact same sheet on another printer, Tronxy X3, slightly smaller, 220 by 220. This is the 235 by 235, and it has just been a godsend. It's absolutely perfect. Have not had to use glue stick on that one over there, but honestly, this actually works really good. Just a little bit, and just rubbed it out into the holes, and it's absolutely perfect. So did not have to use the mat that came with it. It is about 3 times thicker than the magnet that's on there, but it's solid and it hasn't moved. So we'll hold on to this until it feels like we really need it. Put it back here so we can drop it later. Actually, let's stick it in the drawer. So those were the first 2 upgrades I made, and it was printing absolutely fine. Then I started to have a series of issues with, we can drop this down, with the Bowden tube. And this is all within 2 weeks. I've only had this printer about 3 now. So it started popping loose right here, coming out of the Bowden coupler. And I went ahead and put the little clips on it. Apparently they did not have the clips on it when I got it. That did not help. It eventually just started popping all the way out. So the tube was worn out. Pulled it out, had some spare, went ahead and replaced that. Of course, went ahead and cut the zip tie, so I'd already printed these little clips for this upgrade, and they're on there. And then, let's see, second problem was it started slipping on this end. Both sides of the coupler have been replaced. I've already pulled this off. Found only one of the screws were holding this original hot end heat block onto the actual heat break. I know there's 2 screws on that. Some people say take those 2 screws out. Some people swear they live there. I'm gonna leave them in there. I had a spare, so I went ahead and put it in there. Previous upgrades they have done. They actually replaced the plastic extruder with the metal one. Unfortunately, this is the model with the press fit actually gear onto the stepper motor, so could not replace it. It looks like they just left it. Seemed to fit. I do have it. It appears to be the exact same size, so I'm just going to go with it for now. Let's see, other upgrades that I have done. Oh yeah, it now has Clipper. So I went ahead and replaced the firmware, had a spare Raspberry Pi, and threw Clipper on this guy. That took about 4 days of playing with. I've actually done the acceleration tuning with the heat bed and the hot end with an 80XL. No point making a video on that. There are tons of videos out there. I referenced Nero's. So let's get to the actual upgrades we're going to do. And this video is not sponsored by Polymaker, but this is the Polymaker that I won from the actual Polymaker YouTube channel. Thank you very much, Nick, over there at Polymaker. And every single thing has printed absolutely perfect. Probably one of my new favorite filaments. Alright, what we have pieces wise, we have tensioner for the end. Let's make sure we can see that. Tensioner for the end. We have a new fan nozzle for cooling parts. Hopefully that's going to fit. I have not test fit any of these pieces. We have tensioner for the X. We have replacement motor mount for the single Z motor, which is slightly out of alignment, which everybody knows about. We have a web camera that's going to go on at some point. We have a leftover webcam mount for that camera. We'll have to find someplace. We have a Raspberry Pi 2 running the latest clipper and mainsail with the little case that I found. This is a very nice and compact case. It printed absolutely perfectly. The only issue I've had is when trying to get it in here, it actually caught on the actual camera cable and pulled the actual connector all the way off. Just a little black part that moves. I was able to get it back in there, but for one, I'm not sure how do you get the cable in there. Then I guess use tweezers to press it down into place. So we're just gonna go with the USB camera. Works fine. All right, we have a BL Touch mount because this will eventually get a BL Touch, which I have a spare one here. I still need to fix the connector on, but we'll go ahead and mount it and get it on there out of the way. We have the Z-Rod filament protector that actually has the Bowden tube mount that will go right back here. It keeps the filament from rubbing on the lead screw, and hopefully that should make it a little easier too, because we know about that tight path that comes around here from the filament. Alright, we have a little guide we may use, we may not, probably not once that other one goes on there. And we have a ton of cable clips. So we'll probably use them at some point. Alright, so we can get rid of the box. And possibly a filament oiler. Went ahead and had it. Polymaker box over here. So, first tip I can give you on anything like this, if you have anything that actually has 20/20 mounts. It's so hard to see what's happening. I have a light right in front of the monitor where I should be able to see what's going on, and to my left I can see the streams, but of course they're a little bit delayed. So anything with mounts like that, before trying to fit it in here and just end up breaking it into location and then having a very bad day, I went ahead and grabbed a spare piece of 20/20 that I have and just dry fit it and pulled it through a few times. And this was very rough and tough the first time. It was nice I could go this direction. That's actually what I did, got it down on there, then had to pull it through. But doing that 3-4 times on each one of these completely cleaned up anything that was on there, and now it slides absolutely perfect. So that should make it much easier to go in there. So we'll get rid of this piece of 20/20 and let's get some coffee. Hopefully this is all working. This is first time streaming on Twitch. I'm also hitting some other services. Get this stuff out of the way. First thing we're going to do is we're going to adjust the eccentric nuts that are here on the X carriage and the Z carriage and the Y. I can tell just from the few weeks I've used it, I keep getting a buildup around the edges. They are way too tight. They are way too tight. So we're going to try and loosen those up just a bit first off the bat. And then we'll get into actually doing some upgrades. Alright, we have a 10mm here. Let's see if we can do this without removing the cover. Oh wow, look at that. And we're way too loose. There we go. Well, it seems nearly perfect. Definitely flowing better. Alright, second one is here on the Z. go. That definitely feels better. All right, he's down here. I'm not sure which side they're on. Wow, the wheels down here, I can definitely tell, are way too tight. So let's lay it on its side, and not break everything. Come forward with this. Oh yeah, that's gonna be the ticket. Get this where y'all can see what I can do in here. There we go. That's definitely loose now. Come back into it. Still loose. Oh, it feels pretty good. Let's get the back. And all I'm really doing is just shaking this guy back and forth. I can definitely see the rear needs to be tightened. There we go. Ugh. Look at all that stuff on there. It's just eating the edge of those wheels up. Bleh. Oh, lost a clip. This is an Ender 3 Pro with the 4.2.2 controller board, 32-bit, but it does have the 4988 drivers, so it is a little noisy. Once again, why would you buy an outdated printer? It's because I want the frame. So after we do all these upgrades to this guy, then we'll start the research phase for doing the Ender 3 to switchwire conversion. Of course, we're going to have to get some... Oh wow, that's so much better. Some linear rails. Let's try this. Oh yeah, everything's so much better. And with Clipper, this thing has been printing at 100 millimeters a second. Absolutely perfect. So... never realized just how kicked this guy is. So let's go ahead and start getting these pieces off. Hopefully they all fit. May hit some roadblocks, fully expect it. But that is why I went ahead and printed all these parts up front so I can fail on camera with you guys. And rules for Allen wrenches. It is always the last one you grab out of the pile. There we go. Not totally last, but close. If I have a better view for this. There we go. There we go. Now you got an overhead and a side view. Go and loosen these screws up. Actually, I meant to start this stream yesterday, but have not turned this laptop on in a while, and it had 24 hours of Windows updates. It was not fun. Is this thing on T-nuts, or is it just screwed in there? Looks like it's just screwed in there. Oh no, come back. Oh yeah, they just screw right in there. I wasn't expecting that. There we go. Ah, it's 2 half pulleys. That answers that. I believe I do have some spare pulleys I could put on there that are a little different, but just skip that. Let's see if this guy fits first. Yep, appears to line up, fits into place. Hopefully there's going to be enough length on this cable, or on this belt. Let's see how this is going to fit. I'm going to take these 4 screws, reuse them. This guy comes off. Are these going to fit in there? Oh yes, just perfect. Alright, so we need... I guess we could use that longer screw, but that's pretty long. Let's see what we got here. It is warm in here today. Ooh. Spacers. That definitely looks like a 5. I think everything I have is going to be too long. Ooh. Is that a 4? Oh, it looks like 4mm. May not have anything compatible. I might just have to use that long one. That is not pretty. Threes are not going to fit. So threes and 5 fit. Nope. It's definitely 4mm. So we will have to use this long, ugly bolt for now, and then replace it later, or cut it short. It's going to work going to the sides. Looks like it will. Not the best solution, but it'll get us rolling. Let me see if I have some washers in there, just by chance. Nope, those are M3s, need M4s. Good to know. Every other printer I've had has been M3s, M5s. Apparently Ender is on the M4s. And it is warm in here. Whew. Yep, definitely gonna have to cut that down. So it looks like we'll be buying some N4s. Oh, and we're about to screw up. That would have really sucked. Let's see how difficult this is going to be. Alright, that's in. Make sure we're going the right direction. Yes, we are. That is not going to be pretty. And the other problem being it has to be installed in here in the process. So let's see how we're going to do that. Probably do this. Again, this is all experimental. None of this may fit. It definitely has to live in there. Let's get one in. I'm just gonna pull this off the back, give us a little extra. I'm sure there's probably an easier way to do this. I do not want to disassemble the whole heat bed just for one belt. Looks like we got it. I'm sure we got enough to go back over on the back. There's definitely a tight fit. Having to work this over the gear a little bit. There we go. Just gonna get this nut in here. Make sure the pretty side's out on this guy. Wow, that bolt is ugly. Should have measured my bolts. Oh well, anything worth doing is worth doing 3 times. We will order some N4s in various lengths and then we will have them. Because apparently this is going to be an issue. I was so concerned with this tensioner fitting, I never even thought about the size of the bolts. Hopefully my mic is loud enough for all you guys. I cannot hear it at all. Now we're getting down in there. There we go. These guys back in here. Oh no. I am going to spill all of this. Oh, feels like it's hitting the pre-drilled holes. There it goes, definitely. For some reason, let's get the other side first. sure we don't cross thread any of these. No going back from that. Go. Lines up a little better. That one's definitely threading in absolutely perfect. Get the second one in here.